Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Morning Coffee Review. It is a cold December, but it's finally December. Hopefully, you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Got some couch naps in and some bellies full of turkey and some good times with friends and family. But Michael and I are here, of course, to talk about all things Bluebeam and beyond. Who knows where our conversation will go today because we're pretty light on our topic, but that's okay. Thanks for tuning in this morning. And if you are joining us on YouTube in the future, I hope you're having a good day. Speaking of having good days, how are you doing today, Michael?
Doing good. Excited for some new stuff in terms of what we're going to be talking about. Always switching it up. Last week we talked really about the field and the ability to kind of reduce your spend cost on some solutions. So who knows, like Jason was saying, where this will take us today. December is always one of those months where we have a topic, but they're not full depth. So if you ever have any questions, always feel free to ask us so we can add some more depth to it. Otherwise, we'll just go down some rabbit holes, which we always love to do anyways. So we take this month to really fill in what we kind of end up talking about from just conversation. True podcast.
And we're sort of starting at that point where we recap what we've done over the year. We've covered a lot. We do a lot of these. But today our technical topic is our Bluebeam wish list. And I imagine this is going to take us in a whole bunch of different ways. So start thinking about, what do you want to see? I think it's an exciting time, and I've said this repeatedly over the past few weeks, like it is a very exciting transitional time in our industry. AECO as a whole, so architecture, engineering, construction, owners, operations, depending on how you throw that O. It's almost a space race. Software companies, hardware companies, there's all this new stuff coming out. I mean, at AU a couple months ago, we saw a freaking robot drawing floor plans on the floor, and that wasn't the only robot that could draw floor plans on the floor. There's a whole bunch of exciting stuff going on, and how does that relate to what we do all day? We're playing with PDFs and software, or are we doing more that involves PDFs? So I think we'll find in the coming months that things are going to get strange, and buckle up. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, I would almost want to say, what is your wish list for Bluebeam, but also what is your wish list for next year on topics would also be a good one too. So if you're listening in on the tube, feel free to comment if you have some specific topics you're looking for us to gain. I just pulled up YouTube because I wanted to see how many videos we're at now. We've done 191 episodes.
Really? 191 episodes? I thought I suppose that's getting up there.
Because if you take, let me do a calculator here.
Well,
how many Tuesdays are in a year? Yeah.
52?
How many Tuesdays are in a year?
Should be 52, but I suppose there's not always 52.
We'll do 52 times 4, 208. So we've missed, we've missed 17 episodes in 4 years.
And that's with holidays and stuff. That's not bad.
Yeah.
And conferences, but next year is going to be certainly interesting when it comes to
because it's been 4 years, right? Let's see.
No, we've been
I think there's 3 years.
March or May. What's one of the M months, I believe.
Mark
4 years.
It's 3 years. March 2021. So let me go back and redo that math. So 52 times 3. No, there's no way, because now we're over. I think it is 4 years.
It's all a blur. But
yeah, because it'll be 2025, so it will have been 4 years. Yeah. So 17 was right. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, some of you were there for some of the early ones, so thanks for sticking around. It's certainly been a fun ride, and the boat ain't slowing down. So looking ahead at the topics that we've got to finish out the year, we've got quite a few things going on, but today is more of that wish list. And why do I say wish list? Michael and I have no really control over what Bluebeam does or what Nemetschek does, but one of the ways that we've encouraged over the years is that make a suggestion option inside of review. And I think it's grown beyond that with Bluebeam Community. Bluebeam Community has a whole section on like, hey, what do you want to see? And I was going to pull that up today and take a look at some of the things that are in there. Not just selfishly, to see what's going on, but also just to encourage some traffic over there.
But I will say also we do get the ability to talk to the Bluebeam developers. So we will, that's another value add as well, that we can write some of these downs, down.
Right.
And tell them essentially what some of you are requesting. Just like what happened at Bluebeam Live for me. But I digress. Your turn.
Yeah, so some of you have typed some things in the chat, and I'll pull that up in a minute. But there is a whole feedback section of what you want to see, and I certainly encourage you to go in. This works kind of like the Autodesk forums, where you can go like things. And I would imagine if I was on the Bluebeam side, I would be liking or seeing things with lots of thumbs up and comments to say like, hey, this is something that more than one person wants. So there's a number of things in here. I would encourage you to go sign up, add your idea, see what happens. But I think we've talked recently over the past couple episodes of like what's new. There's been a number of new functions and features released as of a couple weeks ago. So the development train is moving full steam ahead, and it's kind of fun to see where they're going. So yeah, you've got different folks on here, and every now and then you'll get Bluebeam staff. There you go. From a Bluebeam staff, review for iPad is old and outdated. We've focused on Bluebeam for iOS as perfect.
It even says as a replacement.
At the end of 2025, we will send review to iPad off into the sunset. So probably they're going to, do the end of life here real soon.
Well, the only reason they would do that would be that the full capabilities are on the mobile device. So, because the thought was once everything transitions, then they can sunset the iPad. So if they're saying closer to the end of 2025, so closer to the end of 2025 is when everything will be able to be done on your phones, on the mobile device app. So there's your kind of keynote from they're going to sunset this in end of 2025. So that means they have an end of 2025 deadline to get everything over from sessions into your app on your phone. It's a year. Can they do it?
I would imagine that they can. I'm going to be the optimist here. But yeah, there's some good stuff going on there, and I like how you can tag Bluebeam staff. So once they sort of put themselves out in the world, you can tag
stay
them.
Right there. Yeah, stay right there. So thanks for the reply. For iOS, we rely heavily on offline access. While it might require, you can't do offline access. However, also the potential of Bluebeam Cloud and other Bluebeam starting to implement. Where was the question for this?
So this is the one where Luke the Bluebeam staff had mentioned, the review for iPad, and then he said, out of curiosity, what functionality in review iPad or other mobile apps for that matter would you find most valuable in Bluebeam iOS or Android? Where do PDFs reside that you would like to mark up or access on mobile, OneDrive, Studio Projects, Local? So this is where he's responding that they rely heavily on iOS for that offline access. So backing up, if you have used the review for iPad before, you can open up, while you have internet connection, open up a session, take it offline, still interact with it and do things like that. And then when you connect back to internet, it will sync back up with the session. So I'm guessing that's what they're talking about.
Well, yeah, I thought that was Luke replying. So scroll down. What did Luke say?
Expecting to make solid progress in our iOS app in 2025, includes offline support, local PDF markup, and access to tools.
There we go. That's what you want right here. This includes offline. I'm putting my mouse over the offline. I'm underlining right now with my mouse the offline. But that's the most important part right here, because most people out in the field have dead sites, right? Where their phone even doesn't have internet access. And right now the app, so if you sign in via the cloud app on your phone and you do airplane mode, it kicks you out.
Right.
Yeah.
So you can't even do a local PDF markup. If you are on a plane and need to do some work, you're kind of out of luck. So,
Yes.
you know, we are expecting to make solid progress. And as we've seen since cloud came out, like the rate of development's pretty impressive. So yeah, more staff coming on here. Offline functionality key focus of our 2025 mobile roadmap. So we talked about roadmaps. I wish we could see them, but this, I'm telling you, the Bluebeam community has got some little insights to the crystal ball.
I still want to see this roadmap. I want to see the map. So what? It's just everything in sessions that is currently available in the desktop app. That's my roadmap to the mobile device. That's what I want.
It would be just straight replicating it.
Yeah. So what has been checked, one hasn't.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What else? That was a good one, actually. Nice pick.
Yeah, I mean, right up there on top. So there's a whole bunch of other ones.
Reply at 1:26 a.m.
Well, I mean, time zones and all that. So wanting to flip. Oh, that's a good one. So kind of like a mirror. I could see that. With AutoCAD, there's a way to choose your axis for how you want to mirror. It's not just, horizontal or vertical. You can draw a line at 32 degrees and it will do that. So I'm guessing that's what they want. I don't think that'd be a frequently used thing, but it could be. That is Vince.
That's Vince, yeah.
So I could see in his line of work it would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Because he's doing some pretty impressive, civil workflows where he's got lots of property, lot lines, squares and rectangles going on.
Save visual searches.
Oh, that's good. That's a really good one. Right? Because sometimes you go and search for a symbol or something else, be able to recall your searches, especially if you did different settings for them. So this is what I mean is if I go in here and do a search for visual, I can go get my rectangle of a certain object. This isn't a good page for this, but well, let's say it is. So if I want to go get a rectangle of this window, I'm guessing that's a window. Architectural people help me out here. You've got these different settings, and I might not use the same settings for every search. So being able to have a button here that says save this search, where I could recall it and then have like a little drop down here, that would kind of be handy, because sometimes the sensitivity actually is sensitive. You have all these different ranges here.
And Vince is in today, so ironically, when you brought that up, yep, that's what he's looking for. He's looking for a mirror. I'm asking for
a mirror, yeah. Because yeah, it's tricky for sure. Yeah.
20%. Let's go back to some things that some of our folks requested. So an if statement. So more functionality for Excel items in the markups list. The ability to see markups outside of the printable page limit when accessing via the cloud app. I guess, Ben, for that question, what would be the need to see markups outside of a printable area? Are people throwing markups not on the PDF? Because it's what you can do in the desktop app. Yeah. I guess, why would they do that?
Because people are still putting markups outside of the PDF for real estate. Right? And this is where we talked about using the cloud and adding the metadata to it, or something else, a note, instead of having a big old paragraph with a markup. They're putting it outside of the drawing limits, not to muddy up.
And then with like an arrow to point to where it is. So is that just because people aren't using comments?
Yeah.
Because that would be the whole point of a comment. You would rectangle, double click, there's your comment. so people aren't reading outside the area.
Yeah.
Right.
So something like this, what they're doing is they're creating a call out and they're saying, bringing out here, blah, 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 blah. And then that way it's not cluttering up the drawing, right? This is not the preferred workflow. What we'd want to do instead would be something like this, where we can go in.
I mean, you could even just do the arrow, but yeah.
Yeah. And just do this. And then when you double click it, you have all your notes there that you can throw in there that doesn't muddy up the drawing.
And people could click it to review the notes even itself right there as well. Yeah.
Or you can add a note, this little thing.
Yeah.
And now you just have that little symbol.
I forgot about the note thing. Yeah. Yeah.
And then you can have that not taking up a whole lot of space. I mean, if you really wanted to go nuts, I believe you can make that even smaller.
Oh, I forgot that you can change. Well, look at, were there always this many?
Ooh, there's a good one. That's a fine question. I don't remember if there were this many. I know I haven't used notes in a while, so
me neither. That's why I was so confused.
Like a big pink comment right there. Responsibility. That's another custom column that we've done, but opacity. There's not a size though. But still, what takes up the most amount of room?
Yeah, I guess that would just come down to workflow.
Yeah.
If you want to be able to see things on the app.
Right. And this will appear in your markups list with your comment right there. So, you don't have to take up a ton of room if you don't want to. But if you've got folks that are doing this, maybe show them one of these other methods and see if it sticks. Because, this does present a challenge for not just printing, but viewing. If you're doing...
Okay. Well, that's what the comment was, is that you can't view it on the phone because the page region doesn't go outside on the phone.
Right.
On the device.
Well, and it doesn't... How'd I get over there? Even if I do presentation mode. So I just went to presentation mode. It went to my other screen, and it cuts this off. It's cut off at the limits of the page size. So, not ideal. So, check that out. It's pretty cool. Again, customize it, make it the symbol you want, make it the color you want, and save it up in your tool chest.
The next one is access data direct from the PDF without having to export it. I like that.
So what is that now?
Access the data direct from the PDF without having to export it.
Right. So maybe have metadata viewer or something like that. Would that be an external app, or would you be in the PDF and then it would pop up somewhere? Or would you navigate to it on Windows Explorer type of thing?
That was from Doug, so we'll let him message back before we go to the next question.
I see some...
Maybe he's typing.
I see some shots fired towards architects, though. I like that.
It would probably be external. Whoa. What's going on with that?
Oh, I mean, it's just Matt's here.
It's because Matt's here.
Yeah. Since external. Yeah. So like pull up maybe a separate program that just had your metadata with all your different PDFs, and then you could copy, search, do whatever. That'd be kind of cool. Because I think the file names would be out of control if it was like something you had to search through Bluebeam, Windows Explorer, app data, blah, 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 blah.
Next one is ask for a live link to Excel when I was at the London Live event. Don't think it's coming anytime soon. Live link to Excel. There is the live link, but I'm guessing you meant everything of data, probably.
Yeah, so all of the metadata.
Oh, yeah. I think everyone I would like it to go back and forth. So between Excel and review, push and pull data. So you can modify comments, modify information. Maybe some cells are locked, just like you can do with Revit tools, right? like D-roots. You can pull the data out and forth so they can go back and forth with your Excel. That would be nice if you could do that in review with your data.
I could see that being handy, or at least being able to select a whole column or region of columns from the markups list.
Yeah.
Wonder what that would take.
I don't know
I
if
don't
it already goes into Excel. I guess there wasn't a thought of actually pushing and pulling data.
It seems like it would be possible, but
100%.
who knows? Who knows? Doug's got one for the ability to auto label spaces. And this is where since we can't seem to get architects to tick the box to export them. So in Revit, when you're exporting your rooms to spaces, there's a checkbox for that.
But I think that also comes down to being downstream, right? Because you're probably receiving the submitted. Do the cities require spaces, right? You're submitting a clean PDF set with nothing on it, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it would be more of open communications to who designed the set and letting them send you an export of spaces.
Yeah. That could be it for sure.
Because I would assume, my assumption would be for city reviewal, they're not selecting it. And what you're getting is those submitted sets. Like that is the final submitted sets versus collaboration with like spaces.
Mm-hmm.
Just a thought. Try and defend you, Matt, while you're out here, but
Fair. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of other things going on that would be interesting. I'm going to pull up the community again. So we stopped the visual searches, user invites per session, and invited session. I mean, it shows you who hasn't joined, but does that show for everybody or just the person who invited them?
I think it's just the person that invited them. I don't see anything here about exporting statuses. I still think that's a huge one, but that's just me.
Mm-hmm. Stretch handle is too large for small fonts. I like it's more of a bug thing. Extract page series. Okay. Hot buttons for linking to pages. Yeah, that would be.
Split break apart. Measurements.
Use flags for that. Relocate the flag panel. Okay. There you go. That's why I love this community.
Yeah. There's
so many things inside of this silly software.
What was that one? That was the navigation toolbar, right? Hot buttons.
Yeah. He wasn't using flags.
Yeah, which is kind of like what you would have from. My notion would be, what was that DocuSign where you have like it jumps you to pages when you're having to sign stuff, basically making you not want to read everything. You're just like, yeah, jump to the next page to sign. Don't read everything.
Ooh. Folders for studio sessions. That's a good one.
Yes, someone asked that the other day if there was folders.
Drop that in there while we're in here. Yeah, because when we're working on a session, you can't change the PDF set. You have to upload a new one. Well, that creates clutter. So you could have, 30% set, 60% first submittal, whatever, in a folder so you can review back to it and always have the current one up on top.
I guess the concern may be that you're putting too many PDFs in there with the limit. Right now it's per session because you would want to initiate a new session, maybe?
Maybe. This is the generic response. Sorry, Alan. We've taken
good AI, Alan.
Right? Yeah. There's good stuff in here. And what I was noticing when I was scrolling through here is that sorry, this is a big one. See, again, same exact text, just copy paste.
It's like, come on, everyone knows. Just do a heartfelt response. Those are those ones you see on like Facebook where they're like, I've seen a lot of Verizon ones. Thank you for being a valued customer.
Yeah.
X, Y, and Z.
But what I was noticing was like we've gone through a page and a half of these. Okay, that's a good one. Keep your snapshot background as transparent, not white.
Yep. But I've taken it of the PDF, so that makes it the PDF background. Yeah. Like the ability to select it and remove background.
Yeah.
Like you can with images.
That's kind of tricky though. Yeah, the ARM-based Windows machines. So we've talked over the years about the Microsoft Surface Pro. There are two versions of that, one with an Intel chip and one with the ARM chip. And technically the ARM ones aren't supported, but they work. So
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's not ideal. So it's one of those things where while it technically works, if you were to tell Bluebeam, like, hey, I'm having an issue, they're like, oh, well, it must be your processor, not our perfect software. It happens sometimes. But yes.
So that's for Surface Pros. Is this ARM-based Windows machine?
Mm-hmm.
Is it all of them, or you get to pick what Surface Pro you're purchasing?
You pick what Surface Pro.
So don't do the ARM-based Windows.
If you need to use Bluebeam.
Don't use ARM-based Windows, right? Well, what would be the point? Why are people purchasing ARM-based Windows? What's the difference between that and other processors?
I don't know. I think the ARM ones are, I believe, cheaper. If we're gonna go down the rabbit hole,
I have questions, Jason.
If we're going on the best Surface Pro,
they still got Cyber Monday deals or what?
You'd be surprised. Probably not. Surface Pro, I'm guessing is the 11th edition, the newest one. So Snapdragon X would be that ARM one, right?
No, Snapdragon X was the other one. There's an ARM one. It says ARM. Snapdragon X was the other one.
Processor Plus. Oh, okay.
Do they just stop selling them now?
I don't know. Let's go back. How do I turn? Was it the 9? Let's do X. SQ1, SQ2. Yeah, I don't know. They're all sold out anyway. I should
don't use the ARM one then, I guess. Wherever you can look at the processor. You're scrolling way too quick.
Yeah, that's what I do. So yeah, I'm not Evo. Yeah, Intel is obviously mentioned there. But geez, look at that clearance price. Save $873.
I mean, it's an i5, yeah.
But still, for a web surfer, that'd be a fine little machine.
Yep.
So yeah, there's some compatibility issues, and I haven't been keeping up to date with where Windows Surface Pros are in the ecosystem anymore since I've gone full dark side. But I think they still have their place, and the portability is hard to beat, and the keyboard works well. But on a related note, boom, boom, boom. And I think I talked about this a week or two ago.
A lot of people are complaining about the Mac compatibility.
Yeah, and when we saw Bluebeam themselves using Macs with Parallels or Boot Camp, whatever they're using. So, yeah, I'm surprised I don't have a Mac one, but
I'm surprised with how big Apple is. There hasn't been a lot of development on our design suites to mesh well with Apple. And I wonder why that is.
That's a fair question, right? So if we're going to go down this rabbit hole, it's mainly because looking at the design world, If you ever see an Apple commercial, they're editing photos, they're editing videos, they're doing something creative. They're not designing in Revit. They're not designing in AutoCAD, even though there's AutoCAD for Mac. And we do work with folks that do that, and we've done training for AutoCAD for Mac, but there's just not a lot in the AEC space on that, except for in the architectural world. I've seen a lot of folks with, I'm going to butcher this, Matt, so help me out. There's ArchiCAD.
ArchiCAD works on Mac. Yep.
There's a few others. There's another one that's skipping me. That's a Mac optimized architectural software that does BIM. That I've seen whole architectural studios use. Like, oh, sorry, we're Mac only here. Like, okay,
yeah.
Well,
I've had those
limiting
conversations, and now there's folks are switching from, because we just had that conversation last week, right? ArchiCAD, which is predominantly for folks that, okay, let's not say it that way. Mac is used with ArchiCAD. So that being said, when these firms are going to switch, they also have an accrued hardware cost, which makes it a lot harder to want to switch, right? So we talked about the subscription change, right, last week. That was last week, wasn't it? We talked about subscription cost change.
Yeah.
Now they also have a hardware cost. So again, but back to my original question, I'm wondering, is there just at this point, it's been so long in the development that they just don't see the upside, maybe? I'm saying like Autodesk and almost Bluebeam in that instance, even though you can use cloud. And that's probably what they're going to say as their entry level of, well, if you want to use Bluebeam Review on a Mac, use cloud, which is what they were doing at XCon.
Mm-hmm. So I was just pulling up Allplan. So Allplan is Nemetschek's BIM software. So again, subscription, big surprise. But I don't remember seeing that Allplan works with Bluebeam. Sewerage and utilities? Okay. Vince, you got to help me out. Is that a common term over there?
That's euros, though?
Yeah.
Is that euros?
Yeah, so that's like 225. Let's see. What's your guess?
Oh, those are periods, right? Is that okay, thank you.
Oh.
There's no way. That's I think it's that's what confused me, because there wasn't an extra zero. So go back to the compare pricing.
Oh, $20. So it's pretty close right now.
Yeah, I think, that's supposed to be a dot, I think.
Yeah, it's a dot.
Yeah.
So the exchange rate's actually pretty close right now.
Is it? What is it?
So 19 euros is $20.
Well, we're on the high end, which it used to. I remember when I went to Europe, it was definitely different.
Yeah.
We were on the low end.
So not too shabby, but still, that's
$19. That's not bad. Oh, it's a month. Okay.
Well, no, that'd be $195 a month.
No,
So
that's not
$2,500
$100. It's $19.40. Yeah.
Well,
it's €19.40.
It's 194.00.
Oh yeah, 100. Okay, yeah, you're right.
So $204 a month. So
what does that come out to?
Roughly $2,500 a year. Pretty close to Revit.
Yep.
But that's just this version. Concept would probably be more, or Ultimate would be more.
Where are you going with this? Because it's Mac compatible or no?
Oh, just saying that it doesn't have a Bluebeam add-in, right? So we're talking about the Autodesk side of things and the compatibility between what Bluebeam can do and what Autodesk can do. And here, Nemetschek's BIM solution doesn't work with Bluebeam like it does with Revit.
So then that begs a question about...
I know nothing of the software, by the way. So
me neither. But that also begs a question about the solution for Go Canvas. Nemetschek has even added Bluebeam integration into Allplan. Is that going to be the same with Go Canvas?
I have no idea. There's a
good question
for civil? Huh. More accurate than what? Oh, more precise than what? Okay, well, yeah, more productive compared. Oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, I need to go take a look at this too because
All
it's
right.
got. There you go.
There's some other stuff. So Matt said, I would love the ability to modify statuses settings in a review session as opposed to ensuring all status settings are set prior to uploading docs.
Yeah, that would make total sense.
So modify. Oh yeah. Again, that comes back to like being able to export or import statuses.
But again, it that goes sort of against the purpose of a session is that multiple people can review the same set of plans at the same time. So if I get in there, make my review and hit finished, and then you come in here and change the statuses, those same statuses weren't available to me when I was reviewing it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that's why you can't slip sheet. That's why you can't add sheets because it changes the state of that PDF or PDFs when I was in there doing my work. But it could also say, hey, you get a notification, which is where I wanted this conversation to go at some point too. Go to notification, hey, the plan sets have changed, the statuses have changed. Go redo your stuff. Now, I would be frustrated as heck if I spent an hour reviewing and then like, oh, nope, statuses are different. Go back in there. But the notification is something that I wanted to bring up, and hopefully that segue will work. I got an email from a client yesterday wanting to know how to manage notifications. So the problem is they've got a user, their manage notifications option is grayed out. So they can't change what they see for getting notifications on something in a session. Right? So let me
Studio.bluebeam.com.
You got to do it there.
Mm-hmm.
So if I go here and I make something, right? I can go in here and I can alert attendee and I can send something to Michael. He'll get an email saying, hey, Jason has alerted you of a markup. And then when he pops in here, notifications will be blinking.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So what the client is saying is that when they go in, they have no way of managing the notifications. If I come in here, I can say manage notifications, and then I can say enable or disable. And I can change these things because it's pulling in from the preferences.
Correct.
Right?
Which is the same. Yeah. So it's studio.bluebeam.com. They click that plus manage right here, other projects and sessions. No, that at the bottom. Yeah. And you can see which those notifications at the top follow suit for anything that you're in. You just click what you want those to be in.
True.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you are not the creator of that session, should still let you, but what they're saying is that theirs is just grayed out entirely.
Yeah.
So
because they're not the owner.
Yeah. Well, I'm not the owner of all these. So yeah, interesting.
But to manage your notifications, studio.bluebeam.com. But you can also, I wonder if you could do that'll be interesting to see when the integration of Prime into management, well, your license tool like area, see if you can manage notifications for global as well, like override or something.
Mm-hmm.
Guess you may not want to do that because some people will be upset that you just change all their notification settings, but
Still, like, oh great, now I'm getting all these emails that I had opted out for. Like,
delete.
How's that for a nightmare? Every email that you've ever unsubscribed to or subscribes itself again. Yeah, I've been.
Yeah.
The Black Friday, Cyber Monday emails have got me, and I'm like, nope, I'm done with you. I hate you as a company for 4 emails a day.
It was probably at least Every couple of hours, 60 emails with the Black Friday. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It was wild. All right, so Matt's adding on to his example here. We should just unmute you, buddy, so you can pop on here and say yourself. But so Matt had the idea of modifying the status settings in a session without having to append them to the PDF and then re-upload it. So he's saying, let me expand on my example. I would like an opportunity to apply a setting that all complete items turn light gray. Then if there were a complete item before I executed the setting, then the complete item would turn gray. I'm lost here. It would not change the status. I don't think it would strip any integrity from the intent. It would just apply the visibility overrides. Okay. So what we're saying is when you create a session or a status in review, there is a way to change the visibility. So when you mark it to complete, you can make it turn a color. Green, gray, pink, orange, whatever. So being able to change the colors of the statuses would actually be a really good one, because that would also allow for better visual accessibility. This is something that we don't talk about enough when it comes to the design space. Folks are, not everybody has the same eyesight or the same color spectrum that they can see, and we're not doing enough to be accessible to that. And this would be a way to not change the complete, rejected, accepted, whatever, but change the color, right? So let's pull us up again. So what we've got is the status. Here's what we're talking about.
If it's just gray, are we doing gray because it's colorblind? Is that the thing?
Or just for the sake of efficiency of viewing the drawing?
Because
make the stuff that I need to deal with obvious.
Yeah.
So if
by default, you can just do the filter. But let's say
okay.
Right, because if you're looking at what's not completed, what is completed, you just filter, and that would gray those out. But if you wanted to do a specific color that's not gray, coming back to the company standards, I guess Matt would just have to verify that whoever's uploading the PDF has those standards in place on the profile, because then that would adopt it. But they're agreed, there is no way to update the status in the session.
Right.
Like update new custom statuses in the session.
I want to reject that one. This one I want to complete. So there we go. I changed the color values of these, right? So what Matt is saying, leave them there, but be able to change the color. So now if I go in and I say, no, I actually want rejected to be blue, will that change that to blue? It will not.
Oh, he's saying retroactive.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
See, I just changed that. So now if I create a new markup and I change that to rejected, it should turn it blue. Let's move that over here where it's going to be a little more visible. Or I can turn off my dark mode. Watch your eyes, everybody. Boom. And if I go to...
It hurts now. It's crazy how bad it is.
So spoiled. Now that's blue, but it didn't retroactively change the one that was blue before. Right? So this is where,
Did Matt say retroactive before? I must have been confused.
That is a word he would use. But yeah, you could also filter and say, hey, just show me all of the completed things.
Yeah.
Right, because that will gray out everything other than what you want to see.
Mm-hmm. But I do like that at retroactive.
Right, because now I've got two
color
statuses
change.
or two comments with the same status with different visibility states.
But I would assume it's probably because they want that to be specific to that state and time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Can you filter in sessions? I think you can, yeah.
Let's go.
You can even hide the markups.
Oh yeah, we don't talk about that enough. That's always fun.
Yep,
So
filters right there.
If you haven't seen our beautiful, beautiful work of art here,
this has been running since 2019. So
yeah, it's been there a while. We can filter, but we don't have. Well, there's some statuses. So if you filter there, Show me what's been completed. That works.
So that's everything that is not completed, right? Or that is completed is colorized. Yeah.
Correct.
If you wanted the adverse, you'd have to do everything that's not. Yeah.
But you can select multiples as well. So
depending
if I
on
just
what
want to
version of
see,
review you're in.
this is true.
Yeah.
So yeah, now everything's grayed out except for what's been accepted.
Mm-hmm. I do like that retroactive, but yeah, you can't modify here. So click that. Nope, where you were. Yep. No, adding new statuses. Sorry.
Yeah,
Probably
there's no manage.
There's no manage here.
It's grayed out.
Yeah.
And again, because that's not making the set or settings equitable to everybody who's a part of that session.
Oh. Well.
Right? So if you get in here and you do your review and then you change your stuff to finish like you have here, and then I come in here and I change the settings, you're no longer finished because you looked at something that's different than what I'm looking at. That's the whole purpose of sessions being different.
It's almost the same. Okay, you're right. Because when you're uploading the set, it's adopting the metadata and you're updating that upload set in this current state and time. Yep.
Interesting. So yeah, that's a good one, Matt.
But that would come back to not being able to be done in the session, right?
Yeah.
It would have to be outside of a session. So if it's outside of a session, making things retroactive, maybe it's a button that says, do you want to update past statuses so that it's not automatic, right? It's prompting you, hey, do you want to update your past statuses with the new color change?
Or
yes
again,
or no.
Make it saved. You know, if I'm colorblind, I can't see certain colors. This is going to look different to me than it's going to look to somebody else. And I think dark mode is also a preference that changes the visibility a little bit. So maybe have, hey, if you see red, go ahead and make it orange or 132 or whatever instead.
I love that you can now see
a color shift.
Yeah.
You can now see what?
Well, go and look at that orange markup right there with the white around it. Yeah, you can see it doesn't fit the fill. Yeah.
Ooh, that's bright.
It's so different. I don't think any of us really realized it. Maybe some people did right off the bat, but I didn't realize it until I said it.
You said what?
No, I set.
Oh, you set that. Yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't realize the moment when it was on and then I turned it off. I was like, oh, this is bad. But my blue is not as dark as your blue. I did like a tone up a little bit. So it's a little bit lighter, but not the white, but it's like a cayenne.
Cyan. So
cyan.
What we're talking about is with the latest release, there's this dark mode, and I've got mine changed to I was going for a blueprint color. So instead of going, I wish it would show me what I have selected.
It's that one to the right. Yeah,
yeah, that one.
No, that's yours.
No, I had a darker one.
So I had the left.
I had midnight blue.
Yeah, that's too dark. Up.
Blue. It's gonna be bright.
Yeah.
See, there's no apply. I wish there was an apply.
Me too.
Where I can go say,
nope, that's not me.
That's not for me.
Up. I think mine was up. Yeah, up, down 2. Up, yep, right there. Oh, up.
Oh.
Man. Oh, okay. You know why?
It's
over right. It's the one over right of cyan. It's because
Dark
Teams
cyan.
is slow. Yeah, it's because Teams is slow. That's fine.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad. It's pleasing.
It's not too dark. It's not too light. It's in between.
Yeah.
Because remember, I have a light issue with my eyes. So
that's true.
Yeah,
I was on Midnight Blue. And now it's looking a little abrasive. I kind of like the softer one.
Yeah.
Dark cyan. Okay.
A little soft, right?
Let's give this a try. I'll give this a try.
You're gonna change back.
You never know. I mean, it's the holiday season, so.
And we could go festive. Hey, we haven't done a studio showdown in a while. Is that earmarked for this month or no? Did we do one?
We haven't done one in a while. Maybe it's time. What do you all think?
Yeah, I guess we should ask all of you.
Yeah. You guys feeling up to a little contest? We'll see what we can do. We'll have our people dig into the prize bucket and see if we can do something and make it fun again.
There's got to be some prizes out there. We haven't sent out prizes in forever.
It could be old logo stuff, but that's fine.
Yeah. So there are still some people that like the white background. Okay. And I just got your email, Jason, for the notifications. That probably took whatever timestamp you sent it at. Excuse me.
That took a long time.
Took a long time.
You know, it would be cool. Well, it does have my notifications, but it doesn't tell me when I sent a notification.
The running record should, right?
Oh, that was in a different.
Okay.
Session. That was in this one. So, alert. Yeah.
Yeah. So that
would
be
timestamp here. Oh, yeah, I gotta hover it.
Yeah. And when you print it out, the timestamps there too.
Interesting.
So when I say, Jason, you never sent me an alert, you say I did at X, Y, and Z time. Oh, what time was it at? 9:08.
9:08. So it'd be 8:08 your time.
Yeah. So that took about 12 minutes to get emailed to me.
That's a really long time.
Yeah.
Feels like we've done that before and it hasn't taken that long. Interesting.
Maybe the interwebs is slow today.
Could be.
I felt like Bluebeam emails have always taken a little bit longer though. Like activating a session, email notifications,
or going through our whatchamacallit.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. It does have a long way to travel.
Mm-hmm. Where's my turn that off? Boom, boom.
Every time I think of mail, I think of I don't know if anyone has this nostalgia, probably not, but the Magic School Bus and the one where they were doing like the mail. Oh. You remember the Magic School Bus, right?
Frosty went dark on me.
I like that one.
Yeah, I remember Magic School Bus. It was a little after my time, but I'm aware of it. I'm in the Hanna-Barbera age.
Yeah, see, I don't know who that is. So saying the Magic School Bus probably tells people my age, right?
Hold up. You don't know Hanna-Barbera as like a... Okay.
Do I need to Google this right now?
I'm going to need a minute.
Hanna what?
Hanna-Barbera. It was like a whole maker of cartoons. So just like there's Disney and CW and Fox or whatever, like Hanna-Barbera was like the thing.
Let's see. Yeah, the Flintstones. I remember the Flintstones. See, I don't know who Hanna-Barbera is, but I remember the Flintstones. There's Scooby-Doo. Are you kidding me? I used to watch it all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just checking.
Yeah. I don't know who Hanna-Barbera, whatever her last name is, but I know.
No, that's not a character. It's a maker.
Oh,
like that producer.
Yeah. I thought it was like a TV series.
Oh.
Cartoon. Like that was the cartoon name. No. Yeah. Like I remember all of these. 100%.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Did she create Tom and Jerry? No.
Hannah Montana did not create Tom and Jerry. Is that what you're saying? No.
Scooby-Doo was like my jam. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you?
Okay.
Oh, she did Powder Puffs too? Or is that just this image that I'm looking at?
I don't know. I'm scared to know what you're looking
Captain
at.
Planet? No way. I didn't know that. Okay. Derailed
But
this. Sorry.
yeah, two separate people. But yeah, cartoons are the best. I need to make some time and
It's the
revisit.
name, Doug. That's who I didn't know. I didn't know that person as the creator of these cartoon series. But
Yeah.
yes, do remember watching all of those.
There's some smart, creative people out there.
There is.
They're probably not drawing architectural plans or roadways or anything, but whatever. But hey, speaking of roadways, it's Tuesday. It's the first Tuesday of the month. Therefore, it is Civil Chat Day. So in a little bit, go join myself and some others. Go visit our friend Brian over there doing Civil Chat. I'll see if I can post a link, or I know there's one on our LinkedIn page that Brian has posted before. Brian Haley and Brian Mackey and the other Brians might show up too to talk all things civil. So it's always a good time.
Oh, is it two different people, Dan? See, you guys confused me.
I'm choosing Dan on my trivia team. There you go. William Hanna, Joseph Barbera. I wouldn't have got that one in the trivia question though.
So that's not a person. That's multiple people.
Two people
that created Sears.
Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. See, that makes sense. But still, I don't know who those people are. It's a studio. Okay. But I know the TV shows, the cartoons, I guess you would call them. Yeah.
I'm just going to watch that Yogi Bear gif over and over again.
Yogi Bear was good too. Yeah.
But I digress. So today we talked about a whole bunch of different things. We talked about what our wish list is. And right now there is a running log of those over on community.bluebeam.com. So if you want to join there, type in your stuff or go upvote or comment on other people's stuff. That's the way that Bluebeam is going to know what we really want, right? We saw Bluebeam staff interacting with folks on the community. So if you do have those ideas, obviously still go use the make a suggestion box because it's fun and we're never going to let go of that. But still, the community is a good spot to go interact with other folks in the community like you're doing right now. If you're viewing this on YouTube, you're already taking part in the Bluebeam community. So welcome. Let's make our circle bigger. If you know other Bluebeam users who haven't heard of Morning Coffee Review or think it's actually about coffee, let them know about what we've got going on here. Let them know about community.bluebeam.com. And do what you want to do to make your workflows better. Michael and I are always available for questions. Put a comment on YouTube or drop us an email or join our LinkedIn group for Morning Coffee Review. And whether it's about Bluebeam or not, we know people. We've got quite the network ourselves of very talented and gifted coworkers that we can rely on if we don't know the answer. But we got time for one last question from Dan here. Can you make the thumbnails dark mode? So that's a good question. Ooh, boy. Let's jump in real quick. So talking about dark mode, right? Let me go to a set. Here's a set where not a set, but a drawing with multiple files in it. If I go to dark mode here, everything is in dark mode. The question is, can I make my thumbnails dark mode? That's a good one, Dan. I don't think so. We do have our Dorito down here where we can make things smaller or bigger, but there is no thumbnail.
I love that you call it a Dorito.
Yeah, I'm also fat and I like Doritos, so that's where I think about food a lot.
So there's a paintball blow up for Hyperball that looks exactly like that. It's a triangle, and they call it Doritos as well.
Interesting. We're just on a side tangent today. There was something about sweatshirts that I saw on YouTube. Some of the sweatshirts have a little triangle right here under the neck, and people were calling them a Dorito. And then it goes in and explains the history of the triangle and why they were there. And it has to do with early football and not being a stretchy part to get it over your helmet.
Oh, the part of the actual like jersey of a football uniform. You're saying.
If you've ever seen the triangle, it
has
to go with football to make it fit over a helmet. The more you know. So there you go, Dan. This would be really good if you could change the colors, but you cannot. So that's a great idea. Go put it in there, community.bluebeam.com. And I bet that would be pretty easy for them to do. So go put it in there. I'll go find it, put a like on it, and we'll go from there. But that's all the time we got for today. Thanks for joining us. We will see you next Tuesday. Any last words, Michael?
No, that's it. Thank you all for joining as always, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
See ya.
Thanks, everyone.
Hey there, thanks for tuning in. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of the other content on our channel.